guy needs much introduction. This is Derik. He's from Locks Lash, one of the big companies coming out of Australia and taking the world by storm. He is a nerd. No, that's what it says to say, but he's a bit of a glue nerd, a bit of a tech nerd, and we love that about him. But I was chatting with Otto and Derik in the break, and we were just having a chat. It's nice to talk to people like this about the industry and other people that are sort of at the level we're at in the company, and we all talk about it. Over 8,000 training people, over 8,000 students. Congratulations.
Yo, I swear I was at the wrong convention. I think this is the bad bitches only convention. And not just because you guys are all dressed to the nines and looking really sexy, but because you showed up and you give a shit about the industry, and here you are. So pat yourselves on the back for that one. That was pathetic. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Give yourself some credit. I heard in Australia you got this saying, I'm not here to fuck spiders, which I don't understand what that means, but we're not here to fuck spiders, so let's get into it. We're gonna talk about lash myths, and there might be some hot takes here, and there might be some controversy, and if you disagree, take your glass, right, and just throw it at me, yeah? No, I'm just playing, don't do that, please. There's probably insurance issues with that. Okay, yeah, there we are, so I hit this button, I'm assuming. Yay, look at that, technology. So many people say you can't get your lashes wet for the first 24 hours or so. Who in here thinks that that's true? Well, then why the hell am I here? Okay, cool. So you guys all know that one, you can get them wet. It used to be that you couldn't, though, just so you guys know the history. Our glue is now different, by and large, than it used to be, right? We used to have methyl cyanoacrylate, now we got ethyl cyanoacrylate, and with the methyl one, you couldn't get it wet within the first 24 hours. That's known. So it's like applying old information to a new situation. Like you can't run your car in your garage for that long, because apparently you can kill yourself if you're sitting in it. And it's like trying to do that with a Tesla. It's just not gonna work, right? So we have a Tesla now, and back in the day, we used to have an old 67 Challenger. Not that you guys know cars, probably. Anyway, let's move on. The next one is you can use old glue. Now, I heard this, somebody gave an unpopular opinion on the gram, and I was like, I can't let you get away with this, you know? Like, they're saying that, yes, the glue has an expiry date, but you can still use it because it just, look, it sticks my fingers together, so it's fine. But we are professionals, and that's not what we're talking about, so actually, no, you can't. Right? So if you thought about doing that, or if you're like a cheapskate and you're like, well, look, I still got some, you know, I got some liquid in the bottle, I'm gonna use it because I don't want to spend another 60 bucks. Well, don't fuck yourself, right? Because you are gonna have worse retention with that. The glue is partially cured, you've got extra formaldehyde inside the bottle, and there's just a whole bunch of other chemical reactions that are occurring that's going to mess up your lash sets, and then your client's gonna come back and be like, but they only lasted a week. Well, it's because you used old glue. What were you thinking? Okay? Anyway, the next one we have is that some glue has formaldehyde. Does anybody think that the glue has formaldehyde in it? I think we chose the wrong questions. Oh, you think it does? Good. Okay, cool. So we have at least one person, so I'm talking to you. The actual answer is that, well, it's kind of yes and no, right? Cyanoacrylate glue is made using formaldehyde. So you take a whole bunch of formaldehyde, put some sugar and flour and whatever else into it, and then it turns into our glue, yeah? So it started as formaldehyde with some other stuff, and now it's turned into the glue. But a weird thing happens is that as it cures, formaldehyde is released just naturally, right? So you're gonna smell glue at some times, and it's gonna have that real strong, acidic kind of in the back of your throat sort of a thing, and that is formaldehyde being produced by the glue, and if you get that smell from a glue, you know it's old, or you know, maybe the lid wasn't quite on well enough and you've got more formaldehyde being produced. So I'm not advocating that you go and sniff all your glue, but I am kind of saying, like, give your glue a little sniff every once in a while, just periodically, to make sure it doesn't have that acrid smell in the back of your throat. Y'all tracking with what I'm saying? Man, only true, y'all? Are y'all tracking with what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, there we go. We're awake. Good. Okay, so I guess that was formaldehyde. We're done with that one. Okay, now this one's interesting. Cyanoacrylate-free glues are better. Now, I have all the hope in the world that we have a cyanoacrylate-free glue that is perfect and stable, and we can deal with all the people that have allergies to cyanoacrylate glues. Now, the problem is that currently there isn't enough research done for me to stand up here and say definitively cyanoacrylate glues are, bae, right? Because there hasn't been the research done. What little research has been done is a little bit inconclusive on the allergic aspect of the glue and the stability and all that sort of stuff, and especially with retention. So now we've done some analysis of cyanoacrylate-free glues, and we've sent them off to labs, and it turns out that even some cyanoacrylate-free glues have a portion of cyanoacrylate still in them to initiate the chemical reaction, right? Do you guys know how the chemical reaction works? Yeah, I got a nod, yeah. Show of hands, who knows how it works? Good. Does anybody need me to go over how it works? You want me to go over how it works? Okay, I'll touch that in a bit, all right? So some CA-free glues still have cyanoacrylate in them, which isn't a big amount, so you can get rid of some of the allergic aspects, but just to know that if they're highly allergic, they're gonna potentially still have a little bit of reaction in cyanoacrylate-free glues. One other thing is that from these types of glues that I've smelled in the past, there's a lot more odor that comes from it. And it doesn't respond the same way to a blowtorch. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay, now I'm a nerd. Like, I got out of Jadestone, and I just wanted to see what would happen when you blowtorch it, and it was kind of cool. Anyway, some people think more glue is better. Who thinks that? Nobody in the crowd. Okay, cool. So then you guys know that no, more glue isn't better. What we're doing is we're taking an extension, and then we've got a natural lash, and we're trying to bond the two together. We're not doing like wallpaper where you're just like gluing it up there, or arts and crafts where you want a lot of glue to make sure that the thing holds. You want to think bonding, right? And if you mess around with it too much and you put more glue on there, then you're going to have the capability of contaminants to get up in the glue and start doing its magic and break the whole system down. So you want to just make sure that you're thinking like bond as opposed to glue. Y'all get what I mean? So we have a rule when I'm teaching one of the thousands of students apparently I've taught, that if you can see the glue, it's too much. And that's just to get that concept across that we want to bond them together, so too much glue is actually going to prohibit that from occurring, because now you got a sandwich. Y'all tracking what I'm putting down? Good. All right, UV glues are the future. I really hope so. That's my debunk, right? Now, from what I was testing, and I'm really interested to check out your system, right? Because I've tested 4 different UV systems. And I actually got a thermometer and stuck it into my arm because it had like a probe, the meat ones, right? I'm dedicated, y'all. Y'all better understand this. Like, I stuck it into my arm so I could get a reading of the temperature, and I turned on the UV system, and it went to like 60 degrees, right? And I'm like, that's not good, And then, like Homeboy was doing with the light when his eyes are closed, and it's going through. Right? And I'm doing that too with the LED system I got, and I'm like, this is not good, right? And so you've got the nanometers, and then you've got the intensity behind that. So I'm really interested to see yours, right? Anyway, currently right now though, with the state of research, so these UV systems are on the bleeding edge, right? And then I can't, in good faith, put out something that is undetermined as safe by independent scientific analysis, if that makes sense, okay? We are currently putting out a course on, can I mention that? I think it was on our socials. We're putting out a body contouring course, right? So it's like, the fat freezing type thing, but it's not fat freezing. It's, you can get rid of like little trouble areas in your double chin and give you a little BBL, but non-invasive. And so I spent 3 months researching this because I thought it was bullshit when I first heard about it, right? So we have to make sure that everything is legit and verified by independent sources, usually not in the beauty industry, okay? So with UV right now, all I know from my personal research is that it currently takes a little bit longer to cure. So if you're working with a 0.5-second glue and you're knocking out a set in an hour, and it's like a full handmade, beautiful, luscious set, I don't think you can get those speeds with a UV system currently, right? And it does take a little bit of extra training in order to use it, so that's my take on that. But I really want UV to work, because if you don't have cyanoacrylate, you don't have to worry about temperature, you don't have to worry about humidity. Like, just picture like mobile lash techs don't have problems anymore, and you know, your clients come over and you just bam, 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 and it doesn't matter if you like a hot room, you like a cold room, it literally doesn't matter. So I really hope that these take off. So that is that. A little promo thing, use that checkout if you want some glue, or come see us. And then that's that screen, good. So I wanted to note that we have a lash competition. So I think Joy was saying you should enter those. So we have one. We've got a bunch of judges from all over the world, actually, including one that came from a very far away, Otto Mitter, who's in the back. So he will be judging your lashes. Look, if you take an awesome photo, why don't you just enter it? Fuck it, what do you got to lose, right? It's free, and then you can get like 10K worth of prizes. Come see us if you want some more details. Am I good on time or no? All right, cool. Yeah, all right, cool. So what was I supposed to do over here? Glue, how it works. Good, is that what you want to know? Yes, okay, cool. So this is nerdy. Y'all ready for this? Okay, cool. So you got water, it's H2O. Water comes next to a cyanoacrylate molecule, which is just like a little tiny bit of it. A little chemical reaction happens, and the H2O gets split up, right? Like they're having a disagreement. What happens is one of the hydrogen just kind of goes off, and then you have an oxygen and a hydrogen together, and then that attaches to the cyanoacrylate molecule. Basically what happens is it changes you know how in a battery you've got a plus and a minus side, right? So it changes that. And so now the minus was over here, and now it goes over here. And what that does is it changes it to say, what else can I stick to? And the closest thing that it's gonna stick to is another cyanoacrylate molecule. Yeah? And that just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes until you either run out of glue or something stops it. So a thing that can stop it is another chemical, you know, like a bonder, or you can even do a cleanse. That will stop it as well because it's too much water. And then that stops it and it solidifies it. Takes about 3 minutes for the internal structure to kind of like wiggle together, and one chain of glue links up with another chain, and that's how you get strength. Yeah, so that was like the quick little explanation. Yeah. All right, who's got another question? Because I really like this part. Yeah, go. Okay, so the cyanoacrylate-free adhesive just uses a different type of a chemical, right? It's got polyvinyl acetate, ethyl acrylate, which sounds like cyanoacrylate, but it's slightly different. And then you can have cyanoacrylate that gets in there as an initiator, and then all the stuff happens. Right, Otto? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's briefly how that works. It's kind of on the same sort of a thing. You're taking a one and turning it into a many. Yeah. Who's got another question? Go.
Do you think people's reactions are more to the carbon black in a glue compared to the cyanoacrylate?
No. No. But people do react to carbon black quite a bit, which is why your sensitive glues are clear, because they don't have the carbon black in it, and then they substitute some other chemicals that people can commonly react to, right? So one is PMMA or MMA. People can react to that, so sometimes they take that out. Sometimes they keep it in, right? But the carbon black is always removed because it can be an irritant, yeah. But most allergies like that are going to be a cyanoacrylate-based allergy, type 4 delayed dermatitis. Yeah. Who else? Yeah, she got me first.
Do you think that there is such thing as like protein remover versus a primer, as if it's a completely different product, or is it just marketing?
Really good marketing. Yeah. Yeah. But I wouldn't use a primer, though. Yeah. Primers typically based on their alcohol content, can tend to strip away a bunch of moisture from the actual lash, and you can get a little bit of A, acidity, and B, less of an adhesive bond because you don't have the water there. Yeah. Okay, there was somebody over here. Go.
Hang on, I'm going to bring the microphone over
Oh,
so everyone can hear the question. I was just being a lazy MC. God.
All right, I've got really interesting scenario where I had a client that was really allergic to the glue. She's a lash addict. She'll do anything in her power to make sure that she tries every avenues possible to make sure that she can get lashes done. And she is very sensitive. So within a few hours, she'll have swollen eyelids, gunky, bottom top eyelids swollen. So her sister's a lash tech in Gold Coast. She came, I don't know, I think she saw it on TikTok. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's a nasal spray. And you all think it's going to be in her nose. It's not. I've tried it on her and it worked. And I didn't want to actually, expose that on my Instagram because I'll probably get slammed with it. But it's proven that she has no allergic reaction whatsoever. And now I'm actually doing it. And I'm just scared. Do I get sued for these?
Well, I would say, first of all, do what the social media guru said and just like, come at me, bro, right? Just, you do you, right? And don't worry about what the haters gonna hate, right? That's one thing that, as an old man, I've figured out. Haters gonna hate no matter what.
Legally and scientifically,
put your disclaimers up there. So like I'm about to do. I am not a medical doctor. I am not giving you medical advice, but the science says that this shit works. If you have a client that is reacting, you can put, I can't pronounce it, fluticasone, I think it is. Some sort, it's a steroid, right?
I'm not saying it. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna gatekeep, but I will tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's called Flixnaze.
Oh yeah, that's the brand. I'm talking about the actual chemical. Yeah, yeah. So basically, when you have an allergic reaction that is a type 4 delayed dermatitis, it sends out different warriors in the body to fight the infection. This is the nerdy part of it, okay? Those warriors are not affected by antihistamines. Antihistamines fight something different. They fight histamines, right? So when you get a type 4, T cells are what's being produced, and they don't like steroids, which Flixnaze is a steroid. Okay, so like hydrocortisone, you've heard of that one. It's very similar, but it's targeted for the nose if you have nasal problems. So yes, on a sterile piece of an applicator, squirt, rub it onto the eyelids before you do the treatment. Do your treatment, and then squirt, do it again, and then Bob's your uncle.
Have you actually tried it?
Yeah.
Why haven't you told us?
Because he's not a doctor.
Because you don't follow my TikTok. I did a whole video on it about 6 months ago.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Anyone else got a question before we wrap up with Derik? What's your TikTok?
Locks Lash.
Everyone right? Thanks, Derik. Anything else you want to add?
No. I love you guys. Thank you.
We love you too. God, we love you. That's great. Q&As are really good. It gets you all up and motivated. And something else that gets you up and motivated. Okay, it's time. You've been asking for it all day. Can I have the lights down a little bit, please? What's that? Oh, Joy. What happened to your skirt? Everyone wants to know. So there was someone in the toilet waiting to do a poo when you took her clothes off her. Yeah, can you say that to Joy? Sorry, Derik really wanted to know this.
So this thing happened with my skirt, and I said to her, I don't know who you are, but I really need your help. Can you please walk over to the hairdressing salon and ask if I can borrow an apron, because I'm just standing here with no pants on and I don't know what to do. And she said yes. So.
Oh, see, there you go, the community, the lash community or the hairdressing community. Another quick question that's been asked of me too about the VIP party tonight. Apparently someone's coming that's got feathers and a pink dress and quite dressy and wants to know who's formal dressing up. Is it like, do people go on glitz and glam? Is there anyone going glitz and glam? Okay, there you go. It's going to be 50-50. So you go, you pink feather dress. All right, so can we have the lights a little bit lower? I'm not as good as I used to be. All right, everyone up. Get your phones. The person that tags me doing this and puts the best prolong tag to it and gets it on our socials and tags us, gets every single bit of product that's left on the prolong stand, which I can tell you is about 35 packs of concentrate and a few serums. So make it funny, make it good. Do we got some music? I kind of need some music. I need some da, 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 da.
Thinking about you. I've been thinking lately. You're somebody I don't wanna lose. All of these nights we've been talking and touching, and all I wanna hear is you to say you love me.
Okay, I think that mic's out. I might need to start. Here it is. Okay, so sorry, we've got a few speakers left and some really interesting things for us to learn and talk about.